Visionaries and trend spotters got together to define the networked society and talk about how it's changing us as human beings.
Now all of a sudden we're interconnected, we're networking with strangers, we're having revolutions started by these tools, and so network society is basically ground zero now because of the mobile. You know, the mobile is finally becoming the tool of access, and also of course the 3 billion who are not privileged to have access, they're all getting online in the next 2 or 3 years, and that will create a huge wave of changes.
The one thing I'm convinced at to this point is a network society makes us more resourceful. We know how to find things, but it may be similar to what calculators did to multiplication skills, that we didn't learn those skills because we didn't have to. We want to know if this technology makes us more creative. Well, there's small evidence that it does. Most of us still aren't great artists, and the fact that we can make movies or publish our own books doesn't make them any better, but there does seem to be some evidence that makes us a little more creative, and those are some of the really interesting issues. And of course, we're also, as with television, does it make us more violent? There doesn't seem to be much evidence there.
The network society is not all high-tech.
You can have these very trivial but fun and rewarding uses of this technology. So just keeping up with what your cousin is doing across the country, going on his date, is fun and rewarding, and it gives you a real emotional connection to someone you care about. At the same time, you can have this unbelievably important, pressing social issue like dealing with refugees and reuniting them with their families, also using similar technologies. And that's a sign of, I think, the power of this new platform, that it can be used for just nice and pleasant things, and it can be used for really, truly world-changing things.
The founders of Refugees United talked about how a simple SMS is part of the networked society.
First and foremost, because the peoples that we're working with are not digital natives. They're not cruising the web. They're not getting their daily news fix from some text update from what have you. The people we're dealing with are very much offline with the sporadic access to any form of infrastructure. Again, be that by borrowing a phone if they can't afford their own subscription, or if they can scrape together the money to get to an internet cafe, or by finding a Refugees United office or partner office in some refugee camp providing free access to the web. So we need to think in ingenious ways of reaching our beneficiaries. That includes awareness forms. It includes offline paper forms that distributes information into the communities. It sees small blue cards stating Refugees United does this and that, given out in Cairo, suddenly ending up in southern Sudan 3 weeks later, because that's how it travels with refugees who are deprived of information and who really, really critically need information to figure out what happened to my family.
The Refugees United project is in partnership with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, mobile operator MTN, and Ericsson.